Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters here live at the Taipei game show in Taiwan. We've traveled across the world here to bring you another Intel Extreme Masters tournament, and we are at the very start, as this is just the first game of the day. It's currently Soulkey versus True, with True leading 1-0.
With a very aggressive opening there on Catalina. Look to see what the next map is and what Soulkey's got in plan. He's obviously looking to tie the series, obviously looking to win the series.
Yes.
But is he going to be on the back foot here? I mean, is your jimmies sufficiently rustled as you go into game 2 after a game like that?
I think Soulkey's got a lot of experience here at this point and at this level of the tournament to be like, okay, you started up with that build, you took a risk in doing that build, because if I'd chosen anything other than what I did choose, then you wouldn't have had the level of success that you did. So I would say that Soulkey's just thinking about game number 2 and preparing himself to be able to take this one down.
Yeah, and I don't think that Soulkey's actually going to change things up a little bit. I don't think he will change things up too much in this next game. I think he's going to try and stick to his guns and hope that maybe True is got that all in out of his system and going to go for a more standard ZvZ here.
Well, we'll see. I'm not too sure. I think we are getting ready to jump into it. We'll find out in a second if the game appears.
We will.
But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. I really think that True could do well. He's always my dark horse in any of these tournaments, and
always.
He's got a 100% advancement record from the open bracket here, Maynard.
And Soulkey's got a 0% advancement record in Intel Extreme Masters.
That's right, because he's never played in one before.
Exactly. Stats, man. Stats are awesome.
Stats is awesome.
The player and the statistic, yes.
Do you think that losing this, if Soulkey was to lose this, you think he can still advance from this? It would be a big surprise, I think, if Soulkey wasn't challenging to, you know, escape from the open bracket, surely. I
don't think that, you know, all Soulkey fans that are out there watching right now, I don't think that you guys have a whole lot to worry about. If he goes down to True today, he's got to lose his bracket. It's double ELIM. And the other players in this dual tournament are all people that Soulkey can beat, absolutely 100%. All right, in the bottom left here on Overgrowth, we've got D-Bix's True. And in the top right, from TCM, it's Soulkey. Both players now on international teams, having left the Kesper family. Doing things for themselves.
That's right.
Got to look out for number 1 in StarCraft, the 1v1 sport.
European teams now looking to really travel a lot throughout 2015, attend the Intel Extreme Masters, attend the Dreamhacks, attend whatever they can to pick up those WCS points for the end of the year. Well,
exactly. It's honestly your best bet at getting a huge pool of WCS points before BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Just to keep going to these events, to keep doing well.
Yeah, True joined Dead Pixels on the 5th of September last year. Since then, he hasn't had the best of results, unfortunately. I mean, he hadn't qualified for StarLeague, couldn't qualify for GSL, doesn't play in ProLeague, and these are the 3 main leagues in Korea right now, and he's not a part of any of them. Yeah. So this tournament, this Intel Extreme Masters, is very important for True, and especially his year in 2015.
And his recent results, like versus, he's been playing versus Life. I mean, losing to Life, that's fair enough. Losing to Solar and Hydra, not the strongest Zergs, but you know, they've 2-0'd him and 2-1'd him respectively. So it's just definitely not showing his dominance that he used to back when he was in Kesper. 2
more conservative openings here, by the way. 15 pool and 15 pool for both sides here. So very good against early spawning pool builds. Obviously, naturally a little bit weaker against anyone who went hatchery first, but just conservative, very safe, Overgrowth, 2-player map, aggressive tactics can be dangerous to deal with. Yeah,
when you know right off the bat where your spawn location is of your opponent, you can be safer to go a little bit aggressive, but you know, it went well for True in the last map. He could have gone to the wrong location, but got the Overlord scout. It's really, it's a dice roll. It's 50-50 if you're going to scout where your opponent is correctly on a map like that. In this one, you already know, you just need to right-click on that particular location with your Zerglings, and you're on the right track.
Well, Soulkey's taken a gas pretty early here. He's taken 1 drone away from mining, and now he's going to have to take 3 away. So he's actually not having the best mineral income, but he's going to be able to get up towards Zergling speed pretty fast.
Yeah, he'll take a lot faster.
He could be going for some type of Zergling bailing push. That's obviously the first thing that strikes your mind when you look at that. Whereas True on the other side of things hasn't taken a gas at all. He has a very good mineral income. He's going to have a lot of minerals in the back, additional queens, spines, fast third, lots of different options open here for True.
And all the options that he'll need if the player does get speed before him, because there could potentially be run-bys, could potentially be banelings. He'll need the queens, he'll need the spines.
And because they both opened up spawning pool first, neither of them can actually scout each other with an Overlord. So these 2 Zerglings here are very important for Soulkey, but True is blocking it. He's blocking the fact that he hasn't taken the gases here. Soulkey's going to get circling speed instantly with his first 100, and then you'd expect the next 50 to be for Banelings. He doesn't know if this is aggressive or not.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I believe you. I think that Soulkey's going to go for a Baneling Nest as well. Just pulling back from the two links of True here. True also hasn't scouted yet. Needs to get up there and see what's going on in Soulkey Town. So we know that he's been, well, Soulkey didn't get a look in the main at all. Not with the Overlord, not with nothing.
Soulkey's at 50 gas, but he hasn't chosen to build the Baneling Nest right now. So it's not the cleanest and it's not the fastest type of play. So it might not be that. Does he want to get an Evolution Chamber down soon to get an attack upgrade? Does he want to go to a really fast layer? But at the end of the day, he's making decisions based on no information of his own. He doesn't know what's going on. At this point, he's starting to see a lot of drones. And now he's throwing down the Baneling Nest. Okay, so now, I mean, nothing better for a Baneling than a nice juicy drone line, Apollo. And he's going to know that there's quite a lot of drones out for True, and that means not a lot of everything else. He could even see the hatchery building another queen because it's doing its jiggly dance as well. So Soulkey's starting to feel this game out a little bit more. True, if aggression does come out from Soulkey, and we do start to see the link flood, which at the moment, True doesn't really see, he just sees drones being made.
He's going to see the Baneling Nest.
Oh, he's just dancing around here. It's on the natural.
There it is.
And the layer has been built here from Soulkey, instead of building up towards a massive unit count.
And he took it in the natural as well, so he's hiding this layer away from True, which he's completely unaware of at the moment. He thinks a big Baneling flood's coming at him.
Yeah, he definitely could be thinking that, and if it was, he'd need that wall, which he has created.
This is actually looking like Soulkey wants to go for really quick mutas here.
Yes, definitely could be. More than likely is going to be, actually.
Yeah,
with no Roach Warren coming down,
yeah. But conversely for True, he is getting the Roach Warren, the 2 Evo chambers as well for those upgrades. So this is kind of what's happening in ZvZ a little bit at the higher level, getting for those quicker mutas.
Yes.
Trying to do that damage before the Roach timing sort of hits you and cripples you.
Correct. So the investment of Soulkey going up towards Mutilus, or what it should be at this point, he's going to have to do some damage here.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be picking off Overlords, and at this point, I don't know how much damage he can get, because if he doesn't get a lot of damage, then True's going to be in a very dominant position because of the way he played this out. Very greedy, very economy focused. He's got double upgrades coming in, already 6 Roaches being built. We're going to see Roach speed start immediately for him as well.
Yeah, he's getting 7 Roaches. And a lot of Lings coming out for Soulkey, and these will have to be defensive Lings. He needs to stymie the flow of these Roaches. I mean, when you get those first initial 5 or 6 Mutalisks hatch out of your hatchery, they're not really going to do a whole lot to that many Roaches.
And True is going up towards the gold base here.
Cheeky, cheeky.
Fewer drones are needed to have a similar income when you take the gold base here, so he can only build just a couple additional drones and then focus heavily on his army.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So Soulkey looking for any kind of army movements, any Ling run bys. He hasn't just now with the Overlord confirmed that there's quite a few Roaches out for True, and he's going to see the gold base as well.
And Soulkey is building 4 Spine Crawlers, making sure he isn't broken before these Mutalisks come out, and at least can hold off against any type of Roach attack.
That's what it's all about for Soulkey right now, not taking that critical damage, but with the army movements of True, or rather lack thereof, it doesn't look like he's trying to hit before the Mutas come out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm definitely sure he's going to push out shortly, especially now Roach speed's on its way. But what type of damage is he going to get with this push out? Yeah, well, the Spine Crawler's 4 already up in the natural for Soulkey. He's got quite a few Lings. Not enough Lings to deal with these Roaches, but with the Mutas, which are about to hatch, he should be able to hold this third pretty handily if True moves across the map. He still hasn't moved up. Roach speed about to finish. 1-1, just about done. Getting Burrow as well. Yeah, he's not going to break Soulkey before Mutalisks, but he can still do a lot of damage. There is a lot of Roaches out in this game. Yeah, getting up there in the Roach count, absolutely. And Soulkey's actually dropping his own Roach Warren on the ground, so Mutas with Roaches, that's a lot of gas. True splitting his Roaches up. Yeah. Gonna try and run around, pull the Mutas in one direction, because he needs them all to do enough damage to the Roaches, and then split them up so he doesn't take full damage. And True has decided to go for a Nidus Worm here. He's gonna try and end the game fast. Wow. Queen Roach. Interesting, okay. So True gonna try and end it in the mid game here. His hatchery under a bit of pressure from the Lings of Soulkey, but he has enough left at home. Very smart from True to leave some Roaches at home while pushing out with these. And he's going to use those Roaches at home to go into the Nidus shortly as well. But if he doesn't win with the Nidus Worm, this is going to get really difficult. And it's going to be very hard to plant it anyway. He doesn't have any unit on the other side of the map currently. Big Ling flood with the Mutas coming across here. True got a lot of Roaches at home. He's not worried about the ground. The air is in trouble though. The Queens have to come down and help. his anti-air is queens.
Yeah, that's it.
He's not going up towards the Hydralisk Den. He's not going to Infestors. Queens are bad eventually. They're good when the Mulis count is low, but he really needs to do something soon with this.
It's only 4 queens against quite a lot of mutas. Oh, a Sport Caller though, we're going straight over Sport Caller losing a muta or 2 for free. Oh, and the queens might actually, just missed it. Well, that's 2 mutas for nothing.
Yeah, and he was just flying around, doesn't really know what he was doing with those, and True's putting the pressure on here. And at this point, if he finds a location to put that Nidus Worm down, and I think he can around that 3rd base.
Does he even need the Nidus Worm? There's a lot of roaches here. The Spine Crawler's actually doing a lot of work here with Burrow. That's very annoying. This 3rd hatchery almost certainly in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, going to need an Overseer with these Mulisks.
Yeah, starts to morph one now. Roach speed almost done for Soulkey, but his roach count isn't going to be nearly as scary as True's.
I think he's going to plant the Nidus Worm down soon, but Soulkey counters attack towards this gold base.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
There it is, the reinforcement Nidus Worm. Make things a little bit easier for the attack. He's going to lose his hatchery in the gold. In the meantime, though, the Ling run by of Soulkey is good. And that knocks True down to 2 hatcheries.
Okay, how many queens are there? I don't know right now. It's 7. It's not that much.
Yeah.
They obviously do have transfuses.
They do.
And a lot of roaches in support here. Does Soulkey have enough to hold on to this? He's picked off that gold base, very important. But True's going to look to end the game here.
Soulkey running away from the roaches he's trying to bypass the army of True here. He's trying to do counter damage while this entire army of Trues is out just putting pressure on his 3rd. What is Soulkey's plan here? Just going for counter damage?
It looks like it. I mean, the reinforcements can't come back from the Nidus Worm because he's killed that off to actually help defend.
True's dropped another Nidus Worm here. Desperately trying to pick it up for the queens. Transfuse on the Nidus Worm, and it does finish.
And now he's able to go back and defend.
Yeah, he could if he wanted to. At the moment, it looks like the defender's advantage that you have from being so close to your hatcheries is working up for him the time being. Some roaches have come home, and they've swatted Soulkey away from now.
Yeah, army supply, I'm not too sure. Maybe similar at this point? Yeah, very similar. 88 to 86.
Yep. These drones looking for that hatchery to finish. True once again set his crosshairs on this 3rd hatchery of Soulkey.
That's a lot of transfuses. That's a lot of just
that's a lot of energy.
survivability here that these roaches have because of these queens.
Such a scary attack. What's Soulkey's answer? He's going to try and hopefully pick up the queens and the roaches with roaches of his own, but he doesn't have the roach count.
If he snapped off the Nidus, wherever it is, I don't know where exactly it is, but
Soulkey being caught by a reinforcement of roaches here by True. True had the concave for quite a while there. Both players going up for that all-important +2 attack, but about the same time, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference.
These units are very far away from a Nidus Worm. Another one gets planted here, but if Soulkey attacks
with the mutas
from the back and he's able to pick off that Nidus Worm, these units may get cornered here.
And the Nidus Worm does go down.
If he gets the other one,
and he does.
And these units are trapped here now, and I think Soulkey has more units than True does here.
Yes, he does, and he also has the defender's advantage. They can everything that comes out of the hatchery. All the roaches coming out of the hatchery now. He has the overseers. He deflects him.
That's great there for Soulkey. True, a little bit too
queens are dead. Wow. So yeah, bit up a little bit more than he could chew there. Soulkey batting it away, taking a supply lead in this game for the first time as these mutas shoo away the roaches as well. No more queens to defend them.
Even though that fight was very good for Soulkey, True still has that gold base up. He has better production and technically better income because of it. Soulkey needs to start doing damage to Sun while trying to rebuild his own 3rd.
And speaking of that damage, the mutas are here to try and deny these Spore Crawlers before they can become a problem, but one will finish and that'll be enough.
Yes, that'll be enough to hold off against Mutalisks.
And Soulkey hasn't retaken his 3rd hatchery yet because True's units are still putting the hurt onto him. Soulkey looking like he's just going to try and end it. Yeah,
he's going to go for that gold base now. He's just going to say, I'm going to play this from 2 bases. There's even roaches, I think, from True denying the 3rd. So that's actually a lot of wasted army supply up there.
As well for True. He's lost his last Overlord there. 3 on the way for him. He's not going to be able to make any units for a while. These roaches putting on a lot of hurt. This gold base is almost certainly dead, but he needs to put critical damage on the True here to try and end it. Yeah,
44 roaches to 45, very similar, but these Mulists are going to do a lot of damage added onto the top of the roaches. Very crucial here for Soulkey. Soulkey got that lead, got that advantage lead.
And after those 8 queens died, he doesn't have that anti-air anymore. He has to rely on static defense against these mutas.
Yes, and they've done a lot of damage throughout this game.
They have, and they're continuing to do damage, taking out Overlords as they go. A lot of minerals of True going into remaking Overlords. Infestation Pit on the way for True. He's going to try and get Infestors out. Maybe lock down the mutas here.
Very smart play from Soulkey. Gets rid of his opponent's gold base, then goes back to defend his own 3rd base. So even though a few minutes ago, he was a base behind and had to do something in this game, he's managed to be able to do that.
Big pick off there from Soulkey, getting another hatchery cancel. Keeping True down on 2 bases along with him. Soulkey trying to get his 3rd up in the meantime. Sees the Infestation Pit. Doesn't lose a muta, that Spore Crawler. He's actually got some free roaches here. So the Overseer joins with his superior roach count. True in a lot of trouble now.
in a lot of trouble. He's got maybe one last big push. I think if he tries to go to Infestors, that third base of Soulkey's going to be up and running. Then we'll start to see higher tech from Soulkey come out. True is playing against the clock.
That arming supply, man. 70 in supply advantage for Soulkey heading across the map. And Mutas being the big nuisance for True all game long, following Roaches and just taking them apart for free as his Roach count comes down. And it's a superior Roach count, Apollo.
Yeah, this should be where he ends the game here. Too many Roaches, Muleless in support as well.
Yep, that's just too much. It's a game of numbers right now. Not enough for True. Some nice moves from True. The Nidus, a great idea, but Soulkey's army movements superior all game long. Losing a couple of meters to Spore Crawler at one time, but since then he's really pulled it in. And yeah, he's just going to overwhelm True here. Not much he can do. Infestors aren't out. Fungals, you know, Pathogen Gland's not finished. This is going to be GG.
A perfect finish here from Soulkey. A very wild and crazy. So much action. Very little time to describe all the action that was going on throughout this game. But at the end of it here, Soulkey's won the strategic war and will come out on top, equalizing up this series. It will go to 1-1. We will go to game 3. Very good play from Soulkey. Likewise from True, but Soulkey is the winner.
He is, and he really deserved that one. Great to see that series tied because both these players look so evenly matched that Game 3 is no doubt going to be a bit of a cracker.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Game 3 is going to provide us here because Game 1 was build order advantage against another one.
Yeah, not the most exciting.
Game 2 was a lot more exciting. It was, you know, two very different strategies playing out against each other and then developing into a very similar game because both ended up on Roaches eventually. Game 3 hopefully can be as entertaining as that one was.
Yeah. And with the recent meta changes in ZvZ, it might be interesting to see some Swarm Host Muta styling coming out in one of these matchups. I don't know if we'll see it from this best of 3 though. Both players seem very comfortable with their Roach and even the Muta style from Soulkey.
Yep. Very,
very comfortable. So I look forward to a pretty similar Game 3.
One thing that you always should be taking from map to map, what small adjustments can you add to your game to help you get a better start? And one thing we have to highlight there, True was very greedy in the start of that game. Mineral only focus, hit it away from Soulkey. Soulkey didn't really know what he was playing up against. So Soulkey was playing kind of defensive because he had that Bailey Nest to use if need be, and couldn't be assertive with his aggression because he didn't really know what his opponent was up to. So going into game number 3 now, valuable information has been gathered from Soulkey that True is capable of playing this style. Gathering information is going to be super important in the early of the game to try to figure out what's going on. Yeah.
Well, looks like we're actually going to go straight into Game 3 here, so no break in between games like our last game. It's pretty good for us.
That's pretty awesome, to be honest. So let's jump right into this one. Very excited to see how this one's going to play out. Are we going to see small changes here? Depends on the map size. Of course, we have 4 new maps that have come into the rotation here, ready for the entire three masters.
And I've actually been, as a Terran player, enjoying these new maps quite a bit. I mean, it's easier to read Zergs and what Zergs are going to do. You get a lot of aggressive options and that sort of thing. And these new maps, we are seeing one here right in front of us at game number 3, the final battle between these 2 players. And let's introduce the players before we talk about the map. This is DPix's True. And in the top right from TCM, this is Soulkey.
So if you're not too familiar with this map, it is still just a 2-player map here. You've got this main base which has rocks at the back of it, but it isn't too much of a problem here. It takes a very long time to break down. You can only get 4 Zerglings on it to actually bring it down anyway, so it's actually very difficult to use in the early part of the game, but something that can be exploited later on. You then have your second base, it's been placed down here, but then the third gets a bit more tricky to take because it's not easy. You have to go up to this open area and then go to take this north base. Looking at Soulkey, by the way, he's chosen to go for a 9 pull very early on in this game. Maybe looking to, challenge that potential greed that could come out from True again here. The map is relatively small as well. It's not that big.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of attack paths, this map as well. It has the middle, which is the shortest distance, also has the outside, so you can avoid overlords with early Ling aggression, and that's one of the things that I'm sure Soulkey's banking on here.
But look at the 2 build orders here. We have the same build that True used in game 1. Now Soulkey's chosen to use it himself, hoping that True would go for a hat tree first. In fact, True went spawn and pull first here, and it wasn't a 15 spawn and pull either, which is the more traditional one you see. This was super conservative. It was a 14 spawn and pull.
Yeah, so he's being very defensive here. He's expecting something like this from Soulkey, and that means that these Lings coming across the map aren't going to be a huge surprise for him when they come down.
He definitely could be thinking along the lines that this is a very high, this is the high possibility of this happening. So this is a lot easier now. If you think back to game number 1, Soulkey had to wait for his queen, wait for his Lings. True sees it, and now from this point, True has got to get his Lings out immediately. He's going to have, 4 Lings popping out immediately. He's going to have that queen a little bit earlier as well.
Soulkey going to really put the hurt on here. I mean, he's going to try and book banelings along with this attack as well.
True just needs to bring a couple of drones to buffer with the Zerglings he has coming out, and I don't think he'll have too much of a problem here.
I mean, if a player wasn't True's caliber, I'd say maybe he could mess up, but I'm pretty confident that True's going to be okay here.
Yeah, he brings a couple of Zerglings here, because what he must not allow to happen is the banelings to maul.
Yeah, he needs to keep an eye. He knows that these are all the Zerglings here.
Yep.
So he's got an eye on them all right now. Yep. But Soulkey's going to break 2 off and try and make some banelings pretty shortly.
And meanwhile, True is still mining more than Soulkey. True has a queen on the way and can very soon also build an additional queen too. Now he's going to go for the attack before these banelings maul.
Oh, pulling it with the drones as well. He's just going to bring the hurt to Soulkey. Yeah, great micro from both players. Not taking much damage at all. One baneling getting cancelled there. One will finish though.
And now it's time to run and hide. Now it comes down to Zergling micro versus the Zergling baneling here. Remember, there's a queen in that could target down that single individual baneling, which is going to be important to do.
Yeah, no losses here from that one player. We've got the Lings coming up the ramp. The banelings looking for a nice juicy collection, but this queen with the 2 Lings on the ramp, he's just making...
Oh my God! On the other side, he got rid of all the Zerglings. There was a lot over there. That was huge.
I don't think he was ready for those banelings that were up on top of the ramp there, and he moved these Zerglings up.
There's still a spine crawler and an additional queen on the way, so despite that, there's so much room for error because he didn't go for the hatchery first, as we saw earlier on in the series. But True's messed this defense up a little bit, but still looking likely to make the hold.
4 banelings managed to finish. 1 trade there on 1 Ling. That's a bit of a miscontrol there from Soulkey. True does get that trade that he's looking for. The queen being pulled off now for some long-range snipes.
He's got to try to target these banelings down.
Gets 1. The Lings are surrounding the queen. Gets the other baneling.
He's got to micro back to the spine and the additional Zerglings here. 2 Zerglings at the top from True, not doing anything.
Oh, huge miscontrol here from True to not have his other Zerglings in. He does bring that baneling down to very low health. Breaks 1 Ling off and stops the baneling attack. And he's going to stabilize here for now. But Soulkey doesn't look like he's finished just yet.
Yeah, Soulkey's actually switching back into drone production, realizing this isn't really happening. He's lost his momentum. The spine crawler's going to get moved down, and this is pretty much over. And True has a 6 supply lead. He has a second hatchery.
He lost the queen, though.
Despite making critical micro mistakes,
yep.
Soulkey went into this game with a build order disadvantage because of how it shaped up, and there was the room for error here for True.
Equal drone count, as we're seeing from the observer here. And, I mean, losing that queen means that his production's hampering a little bit. I'm sure that if that queen still lived, True would be in a much better position than he is right now. I mean, he's in a good spot. He's ahead. But
Soulkey will follow this up,
no
though.
hatchery.
He'll follow it up. There's no hatchery down. He has Zergling speed on the way. He'll probably try to throw down a hatchery soon, but he has the capability to build a lot of Zerglings. As True now sees, crucial things here for True to do is to add on more queens and probably a second spine. He must control the ramp in between his main base and second and have spine crawlers protecting it. If he does that, he'll just naturally go into the lead.
Absolutely. He's got the economic advantage, and the longer the game goes, the better it is for the econ player. Lots of Lings here from True, and you know, for an econ player to have that many Lings, it's pretty nice for you. Pretty nice for you, doing a lot of damage, but yeah, 1 baneling does finish there from Soulkey, and he cleans it up pretty handily here. True still sending more Zerglings out. Yeah,
just pressuring his opponent, making sure that he's picked off 3 drones. He's kept the drone count low because of additional units having been made, and True is just sailing ahead with this one. 23 to 12 in drones. Huge. Additional queens on the way. There's already 2 here.
Not even 8 minutes.
The ramp easily.
Not even 8 minutes and almost double the drone count. Very, very good position to be in a mirror matchup. And he sees that drone's about to take the hatchery as well. Oop, 1 baneling getting 4 connections there. Not too bad for that baneling, but still quite a lot at home for True. He's not too worried about these Zerglings, I don't think. Speed is done, though. The one thing he needs to be concerned about. But he has the queens. They're not in position to block the ramp yet. Soulkey going to go for the back rocks here, but like you said, only 4 can nominate at a time, so it's going to be a long time.
It's going to be a long time to break that down. And True has no vision on it, which could be problematic because right now his defense is queen only, which is blocking the ramp, and spines to protect that area. But he's very naked inside the main base. There's no baneling nest. There's no additional units here. Yeah. Soulkey doesn't know if his opponent understands that these rocks are being broken down. Is Soulkey going to start to flood units, though? He's playing from so far behind, I almost feel he would have to.
Yeah, I mean, droning at this point probably isn't going to actually benefit him much at all.
Okay, Soulkey has an overlord finally that sees this.
True sees it, yeah, absolutely.
True, sorry.
So always a good idea when you're playing ZvZ at any level to have an overlord at every single entrance to your main.
And now the Roach one is put down because he's starting to realize, oh, actually, if you break those rocks and come in, I don't really have any units to defend.
Okay, and Soulkey's just like, all right, well, I've been spotted. Have to make drones. I have to go for lair, and he's going to go for something and probably a little bit crazy on that lair, maybe mutas again, but it's going to be difficult for him.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to find a victory here, Soulkey.
Yeah, he's in a rough spot.
in this position, you have to hope your opponent makes mistakes, which we have seen from True in this game already. But I don't really know where the right way to find this out. If he's going to play Mutalist again, as he did previously, he's playing from a minute or two deficit.
Yeah, it's not going to look as good in game 2 as it when he had Mutas out. That's for damn sure. It's going to look like you know, True going to have a lot of roaches.
Look at this. He's shown the double evolution chamber at the front, which highly suggests that this is very passive double upgrade type of play. When in reality, he's just building a lot of Zerglings here and looking to flood his opponent, who, as we know, is looking to catch up in this game and build a lot of drones. So smart play from True, showing one way, then going the other. And Soulkey has no idea this is happening.
So Soulkey's gone for the lair and he's gone for those gases, but he hasn't actually done much yet with his build. So there's the Spire. Okay, so he's going to try for Mutas, but I mean, he has to try something, Apollo, and this is definitely something, but will that something play out for him?
Yeah, Soulkey's starting to see a lot of units.
He sees those lings.
He's building 4 Zerglings, but there may be too many already from True here. Plays a bit of a mind game and looks to finish one up. How much defense really does Soulkey have? 1 Baneling currently, and that's it.
Well, if True micros this well, he should be just fine. Catching a Queen here, one Baneling not getting the best trade at all, and those Lings have all but destroyed this natural. Drones coming down from the main to try and help, but there's just so many Lings from True.
Yeah, very good finishing move by True, and he does take the series 2 games to 1 and moves on to the second round in the open bracket. Unfortunately, Soulkey pushed down to the lower bracket very early on here.
Welcome to Intel Extreme Masters, Soulkey.
Yeah.
Enjoy your stay.
Enjoy your stay. True's played in a couple of these already. He knows what it takes to win the open bracket, and he played very well throughout that series.
That's right. So Soulkey does move to the losers bracket. Of course, that does mean that he gets a second shot, so don't be upset. If you're a Soulkey fan, you'll probably see him later on, and I dare say he'll be making it through losers bracket. Of course, 4 are going to go through today.
Yep.
So from the dual tournament, and then the losers bracket as well.
2 from each bracket, total into 4. Then join us ready for tomorrow's group action. But that is game 1 complete. We'll be going into match 2, should I say, in a couple of moments' time. Not too sure what match it'll be. We'll keep you updated and let you know as soon as we know. Stay tuned for more action here at the Intel Extreme Masters.